Betty, bring me everyone.
What do you mean, everyone?
On today's show, we'll be talking about the X franchise, Assassin's Creed, and the Flatliners reboot, if we really need one or not. All that and much more here on the Zedos gang. How are you today, Joe?
Not bad, thanks. Had a bit of a big weekend, just like you, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I've just come from a weekend from York. I've lost my voice and I'm coughing and spluttering. I think I'm put down with a cold or something, which is, well, I sound really crap. But anyway, over to you, Joe.
Right, okay, so on this week's show, as Sacha said, we'll be talking about Simon Kinberg and what he's doing with the X-Men franchise. But before that, we'll go into the trailers that hit this week. And it's just one trailer today, and it'll be Bloodfather, which stars Mel Gibson. And in this trailer, it's very much of a father meets a strange daughter type film. His daughter killed this gangster. His daughter tracks him down, asks for his help, and it's a bit of a odd couple journey with his daughter and trying to get her out of trouble. This trailer was pretty good. It was pretty good. It's cut well. It's got a very independent feel to it, but I'm guessing Mel Gibson's trying to. I'm not sure what he's trying to do with this film, but it looks like he's getting himself in the limelight again, in the sense that this is. I don't know. I'm not sure what I'm trying to say, but it's got all the faculties of him being the action hero again, and putting himself in a good light as opposed to the guy he's been over the past 10 years, ever since he went nuts. And so, yeah, it's an entertaining trailer. It was cut very well. It looks fairly entertaining. I'll go see it because I'm still a fan of his. Yeah, that's my view on the trailer. What do you think about it, Serge?
I think it looks good. I mean, like, to be quite honest, I'm sold. It's got Mel Gibson in it, for Christ's sake. I think I'm in the minority these days. I mean, like, look, here's the fact of the matter. Mel Gibson, and I've said this time and time before, fair enough, he made a mistake, a huge mistake, saying stuff that probably didn't get him work in a lot of places, yada, yada, yada. But, you know what I mean? Like, that guy, to me, growing up in the 80s and 90s, he was one of the top guys, quite literally. And even when you look at his back catalogue of films, he really has a shit film, really. Even as a director, no shit film. As an actor, hardly ever any duds. You know what I mean? He owns the screen. He's one of those few actors that has so much screen presence. That's the problem I find with most of the actors today. They lack the screen presence of Ford, of Mel Gibson, even De Niro and stuff like that. Some of them have it, some of them don't, but you know what I mean? He's just got that screen presence. And you know what? Like, Expendables, I've said this before, like, Expendables 3, it's a terrible movie, but you know what? He's still got it. He was not rubbish in that movie, and there's this one scene in the whole of the Expendables 3 where he has like a big monologue where he's talking to Sylvester Stallone, and in that one, if you've never seen the movie but you saw that one monologue of dialogue of Mel Gibson, you'll be like, holy shit, is this a Expendables movie? That's like, you know what I mean? He delivers that like a pro, mainly because he wrote that whole scene himself, because he was kind of ad-libbing, but it felt disjointed from the movie. But that one scene just showed to me that he still has what it takes as a movie star. Whether general audiences will see this, I'm not too convinced. You know what I mean? I think the best way for Mel Gibson to go is probably take smaller roles and just, you know what I mean? Like, you know, build himself up a bit, maybe. You know what I mean? But, you know, I'm interested to see this. It's been directed by Jean Francis Rickett. Don't know whether I'm pronouncing his name correctly. He's a French director. He's done quite a lot of French films. The only other US outing that he's done is Assault on Precinct 13, which...
Assault on Precinct 13.
Assault on Precinct 13. Do apologise. And, that the remake, not the original, of course, but he did the remake with Lawrence Fishburne. And who else was in it?
Again, it was a...
No, but who else was
I have
in it?
no idea.
Was it Ethan Hawke? I think it might have been Ethan Hawke.
Probably.
But
it was a very forgettable film.
Maybe so, but it still shows that this guy can deliver, an A to B action movie of some kind, regardless of whether that film worked or not. I think the pull of this film is literally on Gibson being the movie star that he is. It's a low budget indie film. I don't know whether it'll be any good or not. Let's just hope he's picked the right script that's actually, half decent and they knock this one out. That's what I say. But to me, the trailer looked okay. Again, I don't know how this will play out to other people because I know a lot of people don't really like him these days, but we'll see how it goes. I noticed it got William H. Macy in there as well, another character actor who was quite big in the early 2000s. I know he's been doing TV shows and stuff now. What shows he got at the moment, Joe? Do you know? Or
he's not on any shows. He's
not on any shows at the moment. Well, that guy's been gone for freaking ages. I'm glad he's back popping his head up in films and stuff because fantastic actor. What's your thoughts, Joe, on this trailer?
I've reviewed all my thoughts on it. It looks like as you said, it looks like a tool to. It's not even a tool. It's just a way of. Mel Gibson's the main lead, and he's got the presence of that action star role, the good guy. It's got a bit of anti-heroism in him. But you don't see it much in this trailer. But yeah, it's a guy that wants to protect his daughter, and that's the ultimate good guy, the ultimate hero type character. I don't know how else to put it really. But yeah, I've got no particular expectations for it. It looks good. That's about it. It's a very formulaic trailer. I can't say more than that. You've said most of everything. I didn't particularly like or hate Assault on Precinct 13, but I barely remember it.
Okay.
So yeah, it didn't leave an impression on me. So I'm sure it'll be fine. From Bloodfather on to the next topic, onto our main news topics, which is Simon Kinberg. Okay, so Simon Kinberg is writing the new X-Men, and he's giving us an update on what he thinks the next version is going to be, or which direction the films will go in. And he offers us a update on Deadpool 2 and Gambit. And what did he say about X-Men? I'm pretty sure that a lot of people, in particular people, aren't happy that he's involved. I'm not particularly sure how well known he is in the mainstream, but as far as I'm concerned, he's done a good job with X-Men so far. I'm sure some people will have their views on that, but I for one looking forward to whatever he's doing with it. Rumours are that he wants to do a follow-up to Apocalypse, having Apocalypse in it again, and if that is the case, then they might be trying to to reverse the wrongs that they did with this version of Apocalypse, or maybe they'll have him in a later film. Who knows? But they clearly want to do something else with Apocalypse, and so we'll see what he comes up with that. And as with Deadpool 2, I don't know what else to say about that. Looking forward to it. Not sure what the storyline is. I know Cable's going to be in it. Beyond that, I don't know. What do you think, Sach?
Well, I'm not really the biggest Simon Kinberg fan myself. I mean, I think he's only as good a writer as depending who else he's co-writing with. He wrote Apocalypse himself, and that kind of concerns me. Like, he wrote the main screenplay of that. The story was kind of like joined by the X2 writers that Bryan Singer likes working with and stuff. I was kind of hoping that they'd help pitch in on the screenplay, which they didn't. So, and it kind of shows. I mean, like, you look at Days of Future Past, okay? You had Jane Goodman, who actually wrote First Class, and Matthew Vaughn. They did the past and the screenplay on that, and Kinberg was on there as well. So he had like a clear kind of direction with infusing with Bryan Singer's, like, kind of take. It kind of added to the flavour there. But then you take it whenever he's written something solo. You come out with X3, you come out with Apocalypse, you come out with Mr. and Mrs. Smith, you come out with, like, a lot of different kind of movies that lacks the substance of what, those other movies I mentioned where he has someone else where he's not not co-writing with, you know what I mean? He did Jumper as well. I'm not fan four stick, you know what I mean? Like, it's not, you know what I mean? I'm not really, I'm not really the greatest Kinberg fan, but he's a writer that's been in the industry for years. He's worked his way up the ranks.
Wait a minute, Fantastic Four didn't direct the director write Fantastic Four? No,
he wrote that.
So what was he going up in arms about then?
Because he agreed to a certain vision of how the film should be with Fox, and then when it came to filming, it was kind of like a David Fincher Alien 3 situation, where they kept changing it up. They kept rewriting the script there on the day. You know what I mean?
But was that Simon Kinberg's fault?
Fantastic Four was a mixture of stuff. You know what I mean? It was mainly the studio's interference. I'm not agreeing with the director on the take that.
So can you really blame Simon Kinberg for that?
I'm not really. You know what I mean? I don't think you can solely blame Kinberg for that, but I'm just saying that his scripts aren't that strong. You know what I mean? He's a writer that writes stuff good in a collaboration. You know what I mean? There's a Future Past proven to that. You know what I mean? He had nothing to do with First Class. You know what I mean? And that shows. Because, it's a fantastic movie. But I mean, I don't know. We'll see. I hope he's not the sole writer on the next X-Men, but no one knows what they're doing next, really. I mean, there's a couple of ideas. They're setting it in the 90s, maybe, with this current cast.
Apparently, according to this, they want to set it in space.
If they're setting it in space, then, obviously they'll probably do something with the Shi'ar Empire and stuff. You know what I mean? If they go in space, they're obviously doing Dark Phoenix. You know what I mean? Or that's what I think they might be doing, especially at the end of Apocalypse. Spoilers, they kind of hint at, Phoenix in Apocalypse. Not as subtle as they hinted in X1, but, the seed's there. So we'll see how it goes. As long as Singer's producing, I'm sure it'll be okay, because, at least they'll have like a bit of a to and fro there. I just hope they bring other writers as well, to spice it up a bit. We'll see how it goes. Personally, I like the X-Men films. I liked Apocalypse, regardless of what I've said about Kinberg. I'm sure it had its problems in places, but I guess that's me, the fanboy, wanting more. But at the same time, I didn't like the way characters like Archangel was treated. That's someone I felt that should have had more of a prominent role in that story arc. But then, you know, they might do a sequel to that and have Apocalypse still alive or whatever. That's something they could do, even though quite clearly they look like they both got killed. But, you know, it's superpowers and mutants. You know, just do another one. You know, we'll go watch it, see what happens. You know, X-Men in general, I mean, like, there's a lot of rumblings about whether the next one might be, you know, a team event with Marvel. You know what I mean? That's a big rumour. It's nothing confirmed, guys. Nothing confirmed. Just talk. You know what I mean? Just people talking and speculating. I mean, some official people have said, you know, oh, that'd be fun, but they haven't said anything concrete other than that would be fun. You know what I mean? That doesn't mean it's happening. But, you know, that's the dream. I'd love for them to, like, take it and then, you know what I mean, have it link up with those guys. Personally, I know a lot of X-Men fans want a straight up reboot, the Marvel way. But I think X-Men's a franchise that has been through the ringer, you know, and has just come out. And yeah, the last one may not have met certain people's expectations, but at the same time, you know, it's an established brand that, you know, not just the comic book guys have gotten into, but the casual audience have embraced, which is why these films are successful. And, you know, people are associated with these films through what Singer and Kinberg have done, you know, regardless of, you know, regardless. So I'd say rather than a straight reboot, just carry on this franchise, keep it strong, and just subtly, subtly like put, you know, place these characters into the MCU in strange and crazy ways. You know, I mean, they got Gambit coming up. I mean, they say they got Gambit coming up. I don't know how true to that is with all the chops and changes that have been going on with that, because of course he's going to say that. Deadpool 2, you know what I mean? Like, he really have a big hand in that, other than you're allowed to do this, you're allowed to do that. You know what I mean? He's
a producer. I think that's more about what that is.
Yeah. But do you know what I mean? Like, Deadpool 2's in a lot of safe hands. You know what I mean? The writers on that.
Tim Miller.
Yeah, Tim Miller. Those guys, they know what they're doing. You know, you guys clearly have seen the first movie. Deadpool 2's in safe freaking hands, man. You know, so, you know, Gambit, we'll see. Deadpool 2, definitely. X-Men, you know, can't wait to see it. We'll see what they do. I know I just trash talk you, Simon Kinberg. Do apologise, but, you know, like, my point of view. I'm sorry, dude.
Don't backpedal, man. Say what you feel.
I'm not backpedaling. I'm just saying it as it is, man. Just like, you know, I've got nothing against the guy. You know what I mean? Like, look, end of the day, kids, it's kind of like you're a young guy and you're a screenwriter and you get picked up by Fox for various projects. You're not going to say no. They put you on X-Men, and, you know, at the time when he wrote X3, I'll give him this, he was kind of like put in a rock and a hard place there. Do you know what I mean? And that's not necessarily his fault. You know what I mean? And I'll, you know, hands down take that. You know, but Apocalypse, he was like the sole writer. So we'll have to see. You know what I mean? We'll have to see.
Okay, well,
if we're just talking about writing, that is, but you know.
Well, yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, in regards of what he's producing, I guess that's a very different story. But in terms of the writing, it's, as you said, if when he's writing in an ensemble, he's clearly better. So either way, there's more films coming, and I mean, this last X-Men film didn't bomb. It did as well as Batman vs Superman.
Well, it did as well as any other X-Men film.
It did as well as Batman vs Superman.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, it didn't bomb in terms of the X films. If you look at it, Deadpool aside, it's the second biggest grossing X-Men film.
Yeah, well, this is what I mean. Batman vs Superman didn't bomb. It just wasn't a good film.
Yeah.
And
X-Men was kind of mediocre. You know what I mean? It wasn't
yeah, it was fine. It was good. It was, yeah, well, like, I could say it was good. I was entertained by it. I can't say it was the only bad element in it was Apocalypse, really.
Yeah, you just kind of just...
He was more of a talker than he was a doer.
Yeah. I felt the dream sequence was a bit of a cop out.
I always knew that even from the moment that trailer was. I saw that in the trailer. I just knew it. There's no way they're going to do that. And the fact that Xavier was walking.
You know what?
No
I think that's been an idea Bryan Singer had from a long time ago. That whole like sequence, because originally, funnily enough, I had a friend that worked on X-Men First Class, and she worked on. What's it? Because they filmed that one over here because Matthew Vaughn was filming it out in England. So that's the only X-Men film that's been shot in England. And my friend Lucy Hope Smith, she basically worked in like the sets department. She basically spent money on. She was basically hired to do set design and spend the money on the contractors and the builders and stuff to build the sets. And she'd seen an early version of the script, and they were trying to put that dream sequence, that dream battle idea in First Class. Mm-hmm. But then Christopher Nolan's Inception came out, and they just felt that the idea was too similar to the dream within the dream kind of thing, so they scrapped that whole sequence from that movie and gave us the Cuban Missile thing that we got, which I actually think worked out a lot better for that movie, to be honest. Mm-hmm. But we'll see what happens. Next one, I'm there. I'm not kidding. It's X-Men. I love X-Men.
Yeah, well, okay, so, again, I know Deadpool 2 comes out, or starts filming next year. So, was it this year? I think it's next year. But, that's going to be the one first out of the gate, I'm guessing.
Oh, yeah.
On the Fox camp.
Most definitely.
The Gambit, who knows? But, yeah. Okay, so, the next topic, Assassin's Creed. Yeah, so considering how well Warcraft did, I'm guessing. Well, Ubisoft think this film's gonna do really well. I think it will do well, but I don't know what I don't know where the where they're aiming for in terms of what really well is on the scale of Ubisoft. Is really well 300 million. Is really well 500 million or a billion. I don't know. So in terms of the comment that they've made on Assassin's Creed is yet to be seen, but from the way that Warcraft was accepted in the US, I can't see that happening. Just in terms of how the it was going out to a certain demographic, and I don't think it was marketed to a wide audience, although the trailers were nice and slick. It was very. There wasn't enough in the trailers to entice me to go and see it, because I have not seen the film, and so I can't really have a opinion on what the film was like and who it was for, really. But from what I viewed with the trailers, it was marketed to everyone to a degree. But yeah, in terms of Assassin's Creed, from what I've seen in the trailers, and the terms of the music that they used in the trailers and the visuals, I think there is more of a unique selling point in terms of what the audience is used to seeing. And orcs and guys with swords and shields, that's give or take. If it's got Lord of the Rings in front of it, or now Game of Thrones in front of it, you might do well. But if it's not a known property and it's got orcs in it, yeah, you're gonna have a hard time. But yeah, with Assassin's Creed, there's a you've got that common element of it. It's got a bit of futuristic elements in the film. You want to know what happens there, and it's got a lot set in the I'm not sure how much is set in the past, but you've got that historical element to it. There's more that speaks to me in the trailers to Assassin's Creed than what Warcraft did. And so, therefore, I'm more willing to spend my... Assassin's Creed just looks easier to the eyes to me. And so, that's why I'm going with it. I'm more prone to go and see this film than I would Warcraft. What do you think, Sach?
Well, couple of points. What was exactly said? Did they say they expect it to make a lot of money, or did they say they don't expect it to make a lot of money, the movie? Because I'm reading a contradicting report over at IGN. But either way, I had a discussion really online, regardless, about this with a friend of mine, and this is the thing. Okay, this is the thing. This is a brand new IP for a movie. Okay, I was going to get into a big debate online about this with someone I know, and I just thought, no, screw it. You listen to my podcast, so you can listen to my voice on this podcast. Okay, but this is basically it. Look, it's an IP. The studio, Ubisoft was selling this thing for one reason: brand recognition. That's literally it, okay? They're not even bothered whether the movie does well or not. They're more worried about the game sales. You know what I mean? Quite literally. The movie could be a piece of shit, regardless. But I guarantee you this, when the next Assassin's Creed game comes out, sure, all the people that would normally buy Assassin's Creed will buy it. You know what I mean? And it's going to make the mad money anyway. But the 5%... of the 100% of people that go see the movie, and that's still a limited kind of audience, because you got to understand, like, people are going to go see this movie because they're a Michael Fassbender fan, or they're girls are going to see it because they're a Michael Fassbender fan, maybe. Guys as well that don't play video games are probably going to see that due to the talent that's involved in this movie. And not because it's based on the game. They're going to come from other areas going, what's this? What's Assassin's Creed? I've never heard of it. Oh, is that game thing? Oh, okay. You know what I mean? And that, you know what I mean? They're going to have that, they're going to walk out the theatre with that brand in their mind. And the first thing they're going to do, if they like the movie, if they played video games before, you know what I mean, in their lives, they might check it out, the free demo on Xbox Live for a previous version or whatever, and they may like it, and then that'll probably get them psyched to play the next game. And these are new players to play the game, and that's literally why they're making this movie. You know what I mean? It's strictly for a bigger audience, an even bigger audience to buy their games. What's it in terms of whether the movie would do good or not? It's a new IP. We can't really say anything here.
So you're saying the games the whole film's a giant advert for the game?
Well, that's what they all are. That's the whole point. Look at the Resident Evil series. Piece of shit films. But shot on a micro budget, I might add. Hence why they keep making more of them. The hardcore gamers, okay, that are fans of the series, they write off that film. Those films. They completely... You're one of them, Joe. You hate those films.
Yeah, but again, what you've just said is that they're giant adverts, but none of the Resident Evil's adverts. This got nothing to do with the games.
Yeah, but that's still not the point. It's about brand recognition. Because I know a lot of people that started playing Resident Evil games because of those movies.
Fair enough.
You know what I mean? It works both ways, and then they're like, "What the fuck did I just watch?" You know what I mean? I know loads of people that do that. You know what I mean? A lot of gamers would disagree, but guys, wake up from your small, minute audience, because although you look at the figures and see millions of units being sold on game copies or whatnot, you still got to remember that is only like 2 to 5% of the movie-going audience, when they go see these films, which is why they do these things. Look at the Marvel comics. Marvel will go bankrupt till X-Men came out. Yeah, they talk about how Comic-Con used to be a smaller thing, like about 10, 15, 20 years ago, right? Now it's a thing. It's a huge thing. You know what I mean? When I was a kid, in the 90s, all right, no one talked about comic books in England. It was a niche thing. You know what I mean? Now, You can talk about X-Men. We live in a world where we're talking about X-Men, Spider-Man, hell, Star Wars. We're getting a Star Wars movie every week. No, every year. All right, you know what I mean? I would never have thought that would happen. Now's the best time to be a geek right now because we're getting all these things. Some for the better, some for the worse. You know what I mean? But you know, give it a while. Maybe you'll get your version of the something that you want. In terms, reining it back to Assassin's Creed and the point of the whole thing. You know what I mean? You know, you yourself, Joe. You've not played the games, have you? But you're aware of the brand.
Oh, you mean Assassin's Creed?
Yeah.
I've never played any of them.
Okay, but you're intrigued to watch this movie, take the movie on face value, etc. If you could play the game, you probably would check it out. No? Okay.
Not interested in the game.
That's fair enough. And that's you. But there are other people that would probably go, oh, okay, let me check this out. I had a friend, my friend Kenneth, who you guys might have seen on the other podcast we do.
You go. Say what it is.
Well, he's not a gamer. Okay, he's not really a gamer. He's
Say what
just
the
a FIFA
podcast is.
guy. Friends love films.
Talk films.
Sorry, guys, I forgot. Sorry. Friends talk films. You know, that's another one I'm on. You know, he's not really a big gamer. He plays stuff like FIFA, and that's it. You know what I mean? Most recently, he had the new Tomb Raider, well, the old Tomb Raider game. You know what I mean? Like, just there, he had the demo for it on his Xbox One, and it was, you know, he was just like, oh, okay, I've heard this is good. The movies were cool. Well, he enjoyed the movies. I didn't, but, you know, someone has to. And, you know, he gave the game a go. It was like, wow. His exact words were like, that intro to that game is better than any, you know, any action film that he's seen lately. And you know what? He was kind of right. Because that's a fantastic freaking game, the Tomb Raider reboot game. You know what I mean? And that's, you know, that's the whole point of this. I mean, like, you know, these guys are strictly looking at it from a business angle. You know, what worries me about any video game property kind of movie is that we don't have directors that are in love with the source material like the gamers are. You know what I mean? We might get the odd Silent Hill, you know what I mean? Because that was an example of someone that knew the source material. He even brought the original composer of the game to do the soundtrack for the movie. Is that correct?
That's another thing.
Yeah.
No one ever talks about Silent Hill.
Yeah.
I think some people think it's rubbish, but if you're not familiar with the lore of Silent Hill, it's spot on essentially. Yeah. Apart from the gender swap of the character.
Yeah, that's right.
I think it's brilliant.
Yeah,
the first one.
It's a really underrated movie. I really enjoyed it. You know, another one. I know you're not a fan of this movie. The original Mortal Kombat, not the sequels, not the TV series. The original Mortal Kombat. Yeah, sure, it's done by Resident Evil's Paul. I can't remember which Anderson, but
Paul Anderson.
Paul Anderson. Yeah, but you know, he just kept it simple. Let's stick to the storyline of the game and just make a sick movie, and it worked. It worked, you know, for the time, etc. Doesn't really hold up now, but you know what? It's still fun. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. You know, back to Assassin's Creed. I mean, like, this is, you know, I'll tell you what the difference is between Assassin's Creed and Warcraft. Star power. You've got Michael Fassbender, quite possibly one of the top actors out there. Who the hell have we got in Warcraft? You know what I mean? Like, Ben Foster. He's not, you know, he's a great actor, but he's not, you know what I mean? He doesn't sell a movie. I mean, I don't know any movies where he's sold it by himself. You know what I mean? Ben Foster in. You know what I mean? He's always been part of an ensemble. He's always, you know, it's been him and one other guy. And even if he has the marquee name, it's not to a big franchise. It's to a, you know, to a low-budget indie. Michael Fassbender has just won an Oscar on Steve Jobs. He's Magneto, for fuck's sake. Everyone in, you know, everyone that watches movies and stuff know who he is. You know what I mean? He's established. He's producing this, so you know what I mean. That speaks louder than words to a certain audience. Maybe not the gaming audience, but you know, people that haven't played the games and stuff, they're like, oh, okay, I'm interested in Michael Fassbender's new movie. I've not heard of Assassin's Creed, or I've kind of heard of it, or whatever. Let's go check this out.
Well, that's essentially what they're after, because the gaming audience...
No, but that's what I just said.
Yeah. The gaming audience are very reluctant to go and watch anything based on
that's
the property that they play. And,
but at the same time, I just think gamers just want to know that these guys get it. Do you know what I mean? And I can say this as a comic book fan, because for a long time, I know every comic book fan would be shit scared whenever they announce we're making this. Some people still are now, but for me, like, I don't get excited about Marvel movies as I used to. You know what I mean? Because there's that whole like, oh shit, are they gonna fuck it up? Oh my god! But now we're like, oh my god, I wish X-Men were under the Marvel name. I wish Spider-Man was under the Marvel name, because we have the confidence in the brand, because Marvel are making their movies and picking the best people. You know, they're in it to represent their characters as best they can on the screen. And the movie-going audience that are the comic book fanboys that have been supporting the Marvel brand since day one, you know what I mean, have been rewarded with like decent adaptations to a degree. I know there's some of you that are like, oh man, but I wish they did this and that. But you know, they're better than the movies that we got like 10, 20 years ago. You know what I mean? I mean, you know, there's a counter argument to that, which I'll get to later on down the line. I'm not going to go into it now, but all I'm saying is that, you know, for comic book fans, you know, we're you know what I mean? It's like we're in heaven. You know what I mean? They never used to make those kind of things. And that's basically the same thing with video game movies. When we go watch a video game movies, we're not interested because, you know what I mean, we don't know whether the director gets it. We hear that the studio... Another thing with video game movies, the studios usually acquire these rights to try and, you know, churn it out their way. We don't know whether studio execs are manipulating the script or the direction of the movie as such. I think fanboys would much rather know that it's in safe hands. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So that's all it is. People just want, you know, otherwise they're just not interested. You know what I mean? That first trailer out the door has to grab them from, you know what I mean, from date dot, where they're like, holy shit. You know what I mean? And the only way that's going to happen is if you got a director that's passionate about the material that they're adapting. You know what I mean? Look at the Lego Movie guys. Yeah, sure, that was just a job, but they were passionate about making a decent movie.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? When you looked at it, that wasn't just thrown together. You know what I mean? This thing was built brick by brick, pun intended. But like this, you know, video game movies have a long way before, you know what I mean, they ever get any good. But that's just my opinion. I'm intrigued to see Assassin's Creed, to be quite honest. You know what I mean? I felt the trailer looked alright. I know a couple of my friends that really liked the games didn't. But, you know, again, like I said, who knows? But anyway, that's my 2 cents on Assassin's Creed.
Well, you've also got Tomb Raider that's coming out in 2018.
That'll be interesting.
Well, it looks like they're following the game's plot, so it can't go wrong.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah. If they follow the game, the rebooted game's plot, I'm all down for that. I really like that game. It was a fantastic game. Kind of reminded me of Uncharted a little bit. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. I'll be following that quite closely. Hopefully they've listened to the lessons, but we'll see.
So I think Uncharted and Tomb Raider have a bit of an incestuous relationship going on here, because Uncharted came out after
Tomb Raider, original Tomb Raider. Yeah.
And it's you could see where it's taken some of its beats from, and now this new reboot of Tomb Raider has taken beats from.
Oh yeah, of course.
From what's it called? What's the game called?
Uncharted.
Oh, yeah, Uncharted.
Yeah, Uncharted. Yeah.
And yeah, it's a bit incestuous, but yeah, that's got nothing to do with this here or there.
Yeah.
I just thought I'd point that out. But yeah, in terms of video game movies, it doesn't look like they're slowing down in terms of it looks like Hollywood wants to find the new comic book movie, which is games, and so.
And anime, respectfully.
Yeah, that's still they've been trying to do anime for years.
Oh yeah,
remember Fist of the North Star?
Oh man, I try to forget that. But
so yeah, in terms of I think this one looks good. I can't say it's going to be great, but it looks good. It looks I have more interest in this than
Warcraft. To be quite honest, yeah, Warcraft just lacked big names and talent.
I still wouldn't watch it.
No.
If the trailers looked like the way they did, still wouldn't watch it. I don't care if it had everyone in it.
It was a mixed bag, you know. I've actually seen the movie. It was a mixed bag of a movie. I don't think it was dog shit at all. I don't think it was the best thing ever. But the one thing that I did love about it, I love the orcs in it. The orcs were represented really, really well. It's just the human characters, just there was nothing to them. And to me, they needed like better known actors to sell the product to me. You know what I mean? With the script that they were given, those actors could only do so much. But if you'd put like more of a known actor in there to, you know, with the same dialogue, it would have been played out probably a bit different. You know what I mean? It just all came down to casting for me. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong. Warcraft fans, correct me. Leave it in the comments below. You know, my knowledge of Warcraft was probably about 3 months subscription, and then I was out. But you know, let us know what you think about Warcraft, whether you're excited about Assassin's Creed or not, and just let us know.
All right, Flatliners. Okay, so Flatliners is being rebooted, and but there's someone from the original Flatliners cast, Kiefer Sutherland, is coming back for this one. He's playing a doctor in this new rendition of Flatliners, and I think that's a little jarring, to be honest. It's almost like this whole Ghostbusters thing, having the guys from the old film in it, but not as their original parts. So why have them in it? And so I don't know if Kiefer Sutherland's playing the same character as he was in the original film, but he's definitely in it. And did you ever see the original Flatliners?
I'm not gonna lie, I've never seen Flatliners.
Oh, fair enough.
I know why Julia Roberts wouldn't come back if Kiefer's coming back, because they used to have a thing in the 90s. They were almost married, and she jilted him at the altar. Yeah. So I could imagine his agent just going, "Is Julia going to be there?" No. I'm only kidding. I don't know their relationship. They may be good friends now. It's been 20 years later, or even more so. But you know, this concerns me because this is Sony.
Yeah,
Sony.
Of course, yeah.
I'm going to say this. Sony.
Got a bad reputation.
Do we really need a bloody Flatliners reboot? It's I'm sure it's a perfectly good movie.
Well, you don't know that because you've not seen it.
I've not seen it. But you know what? A lot of people do recommend it. A lot of people do say, "Hey, you should check out Flatliners." Every now and again, I will bump into that cat, and it's on my list.
Well, from the fact that you just said that,
yeah,
means that even if they do reboot it, it'll probably make the original more recognisable.
Yeah, quite possibly, but you know what? I just don't see the point in this one, especially when we just talked about brand names and franchises. You see, Sony are in a position now where they're trying to look at their key franchises and look at their successful films that have made money. You know what I mean? Over the years, that's exactly what's going on. Hence the Sony leaks, etc. Because they were in a lot of trouble financially. Hence why all of these rash decisions. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And as a CEO of any other company, say you make burgers, you're going to do whatever it takes to get the sales in. And that's exactly how this is working over at Sony. They're like, they're just sitting there, just going, "Oh shit, well Spider-Man, the new CEO came in, he was just like, oh shit, the last one didn't make money. I'll tell you what, I know nothing about superhero movies. Let's give it to Marvel and let's get money from there. Ghostbusters, everyone likes Ghostbusters, okay? Bill Murray doesn't want to come back at all as a main character, okay? Let's try every single way to get those guys in there.
It took Harold Ramis dying
Yeah,
to get back into that.
yeah. That's the sad state of the matter, man. And like, you know, they're trying anything to get IPs and properties. Look at Men in Black. They've been trying to do Men in Black 4 behind the scenes for years, but the main reason why there ain't no Men in Black 4 is because Tommy Lee Jones doesn't want to do a Men in Black. Okay, he didn't want to do a Men in Black in number 3, hence why they did the back in time thing, which I felt quite worked well. I'm in the minority. I quite like that movie, but you know, I didn't find a problem with that. But you know what I mean? Like, they're going back to their core franchises there. That's Ghostbusters. That's Men in Black. You know, Flatliners was a hit back then. They cut someone there. He probably liked Flatliners. He was like, that's a good movie. You know what? It needs more people to be aware of. You know, Flatliners. Let's put that out. You know what I mean? That's what this thinks of to me. I mean, like, look, RoboCop. That was the first thing they put out. You know, RoboCop. But, you know, like you said just now, you know, it was not a bad thing. It'll come out.
Yeah, the only thing that concerns me is that Sony has a bad track record in terms of doing anything at the moment.
Yeah, well, that's just it. This isn't the right way. You know what Sony? You know what I would do if I was Sony?
And that's Sony Pictures, not Sony.
Yeah, that's correct.
Electronics.
Yeah, but you know, just buy. You know what? Video games. You know what I mean? Untapped IPs, man. Just do that.
Again, I wouldn't leave it to Sony Pictures to do anything like that.
True. That's
no, I just wouldn't. Just from what's if you don't know this, the embargo for Ghostbusters has just arisen, and it's not looking good for this reboot of Ghostbusters. But I'll leave you, the audience, to make up your mind on that. But for me, they don't know what they're doing with their franchises, and I blame Tim Rothman, even though he's probably not responsible for it. But I always blame him. He's like the ugly stick of any company.
He used to be over at Fox. If people don't know, he never believed in the X-Men franchise. Hence why we got kind of the quality of movies that we've been getting. I mean, like X-Men 1, he pulled the budget. Which is why we got like a TV movie. With X-Men 2, he didn't renew people for sequels straight away because it was like, fine, everyone's out of their contracts, leave it. It took Warner Brothers to snatch Bryan Singer and have him bring out Superman Returns for them to go, holy shit, there's a superhero movie being made. Let's do X3. Where's Bryan Singer? Oh, he's directed that one? No, I tell you what, we don't need Singer, we'll just do X3. And they just churned that out, and then they did Wolverine Origins really badly before, like, you know, Singer came back, and Shula Domino was just like, no, Singer's the dude, he needs to stay. They're gone. You know what I mean? Like, first class, etc., etc. But I mean, like, this guy doesn't know anything. He gave us AVP films, man, for fuck's sake. You know, the only good thing he's done so far is probably just go, yo, Marvel, Spider-Man. You know what I mean? Because they fucked it. The previous heads before fucked it. In my opinion, okay, I know there's a lot of amazing Spider-Man fans out there, but I'm a huge fan of the character, okay? That's my favourite comic book character of all time, and, you know, I'll save that for another rant another day because we're going off topic. But Flatliners, yeah, bring it. We'll like it. We'll hate it. We've still got the original.
To be honest, if Kiefer Sutherland's in anything, I'll probably watch it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not sure when that's being made. There's no production timeline for it. So whenever it starts shooting, you'll hear about it on this podcast.
Yeah.
Okay, the Lego Movie 2. Okay, so Warner Brothers have pushed back the release date of this film so it can have a bit of a rewrite, and it's the what's his name? Bob Waxberg. Raphael Waxberg.
Bob Waxberg.
So he's rewriting this, and if you don't know who he is, he's responsible for BoJack Horseman on Netflix. It's how can I describe that cartoon or the animation? It's very much in the same vein as what. It's got a little bit of Family Guy in it, and it's got a little bit of Archer. That's the only way I could describe it to you. And if you've never seen Archer, just watch Archer. And if you've never seen Family Guy, I'm sure people who are listening to this have seen Family Guy. And so it's got a very strange dynamic. BoJack Horseman is a horse, and he's like this washed up.
He's a washed up soap star.
Yeah, and so he's just trying to. He's just. It's like when David Schwimmer's on a talk show. They ask him, "Is there going to be a Friends reunion?" That's the kind of situation he's in from day to day. And he's got like a girlfriend that's a cat. And or did she break up with him, or
that's his agent? Yeah,
that's his agent.
They broke up, but they're fuck buddies, and he
Yeah.
fucks every single like thing, whether it's a human, cat, dog, whatever.
Yeah, so it's one of those shows where they mix humans and stuff, which I'm not particularly a fan of, but it's a funny show, so seek it out and watch it.
Yeah, totally. I love that show.
It's on, I believe it's on Netflix and it's on Amazon, so. Catch it wherever you can, but yeah. So if it's just getting a rewrite by this guy, I think then Warner Brothers pushing this film back is a good idea, because it will do well from the humor this guy has, because he's very off the cuff, and that's what the first one was like, off the cuff, and so it's got that same balance that Toy Story had, in the sense that you can take your kids to see it, but there are other jokes in the script that will jump out in front of adults completely. So I can't say any. I've got no negatives on this. What do you think, Seth?
Yeah, I think you nailed it just there. I mean, like, have they pushed back the release date for this?
Yeah,
that's excellent, because now, well, they're taking the time to work on the screenplay, which I always say is the most important aspect of filmmaking. You get that script right, and they've got. I think Lord and Miller must have written something already, and if they've got this guy to refine it, bring on the funny. He's a good guy. I love BoJack Horseman. Horseman. He's a horseman. No, it's a fantastic show. If you haven't seen it, check it out on Netflix. It's really good. Really, really funny. This guy. I'm pretty confident he can bring the chuckles, and the fact that they've pushed it back means that they're taking care of it. Which, thank God, an actual studio taking care of business. Warner Brothers. It looks like you're learning. And we'll see. I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah. So again, there's not really much to say about that, because there isn't that much information other than it's been rewritten. We've said everything about BoJack Horseman. You know where to see it if you're interested in the script stylings of Raphael Bob I can't pronounce this guy's name. Raphael Rosberg. So yeah, just tune into BoJack and have a look. On from the Lego Movie 2 to Alien 5. Alien 5. Sigourney Weaver has said that the film's still very much on the go, and that they're just waiting to see what Neil Blomkamp is doing, or what the schedule is, and that, and this is confirmed that it's ignoring 3 and 4, or as Sigourney Weaver puts it, you can watch 3 and 4, but it's as like an offshoot, so you could watch the alternative, or you can watch the originals. But I know what this really means. It's like, okay, well, 3 and 4 don't exist, and this is the way it really is, and I'm glad they're doing that, because I never really, as much, I think after watching Alien 3 with adult eyes, I think it's a better film than I thought it was when I was younger, but 4, I've got no love for. It
has Clone Whitley, and she's real damn good at basketball, yo.
Yeah, well, I mean, watch Alien 4 at your own peril, but as far as I'm concerned, in this universe, there stands Prometheus, Alien, and Aliens, and this new Alien Covenant film, and that's where the canon stands for me, and that's what Ridley Scott has said. As far as he's concerned, it's Alien, Aliens, and then going backwards to Prometheus.
He's producing this Alien 5, isn't it? Because
Yeah,
they
he is.
needed his permission, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, I'm going to say this. The moment I saw the artwork online, I took my cock out and I jizzed. Seriously. I was like, wow, he's going to do this? Or what is this? You know, this is Blomkamp. And quite clearly he loves the property. And this is like I said before, previously, with game IPs and everything. You want someone that loves the property. You know what I mean? That can respect it. Give or take what some people say about his filmography, District 9 is his strongest movie. But you know what? I like his movies. Hell, you know, I know Chappie's a desired taste, but I like Chappie, or Short Circuit rebooted, as you know some people call it. I enjoyed that.
I wouldn't call it Short Circuit. It's
it's different, but no. Some people.
I mean, it's got
refer to it like that.
It's got elements of that. He's clearly a fan because it has the "don't disassemble me" part. I can't say I'm a fan of Blomkamp. He's got a lot of passion.
Yeah.
But so do I, and not all my work is good. So it's. But the thing is, he's got very little say at the matter because Ridley Scott's doing his trilogy.
Is it a trilogy? Or
oh yeah, it's a trilogy. Yeah.
Is it starting with Prometheus or starting with this one?
Prometheus.
I've heard conflicted stuff.
It's Prometheus.
So
it was always meant to be 3 films. So Prometheus is the first.
Right.
Then it was
Paradise,
which is now Alien Covenant, and then the third film, whatever that may be, which will link it to Aliens.
Okay.
So, whether I'm not sure, he's going through the names of the ships, and so Prometheus, it was the name of the ship in the first film, and Covenant is the name of the ship in this Alien Covenant film.
Will they retitle the original film to Nostromo?
Yeah, that's what they were saying on Movie Talk. That they should. I think it was John Snepp that said it. He said that all the names, all the films, they should rename all the names of the films to the names of what the ships were called. So it should be.
What was the ship in Aliens?
Aliens, Colosso.
Okay.
Soloco, sorry, Soloco.
Oh, Soloco. Oh man.
This he's right. The Nostromo's in the first one, Soloco's in the second film, Prometheus the first film, the prequel film, and Covenant for this one. But anyway, we're going off track here. So, Alien 5. I'm not sure what that will be based on. I've seen the artwork as well. To be honest, none of it made any sense to me. But
Hicks lives.
I like the fact that he's the characters Newt and Hicks are in this, and but there was other parts of his artwork that didn't make any sense with Sigourney Weaver's in the alien head. Yeah, and I'm intrigued to know what that's about, but
we'd have to see, man. We'd have to see, but I quite personally I quite like Blomkamp. I'm looking forward to this movie. I'm quite enthusiastic that it's still, he's, you know what I think? I think he's sticking with it because he's seen the green light. He's just passing his time. He's just passing his time at the moment because it's a lock. You know what I mean?
No, I don't think he is. I reckon after the Martian, they said, "Oh my God, Ridley Scott, you're back in our good graces again. You can do anything you want."
Oh yeah, of course.
And
of course.
and he said, "Oh, I want to do 3 Alien films," and that's I want to do 3. And before this Alien 5 film, Blomkamp, you can sit there with it. And I think that's what I think that's what's happened. He said, "Oh, you want to do Alien 5? Yeah, that's going to be years from now, mate. Yeah, you can chill."
Hey, as long you know what, I think this is something that it's going to be a passion project for him. He's going to hold out for this.
I don't know. His last 2 passion project films haven't gone very well.
Well, you know what?
If he ends up making a film worse than Alien 3,
Well, you know what? Good for him. Good for him. Because you know what? The way I see it, can't get any worse. Because the way I see it is, I love Alien and Aliens.
Mhm.
I liked Prometheus. I didn't think it was as bad as people said it was. I didn't think it was as great as some people said it was. I know you're a huge fan, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was okay. You know what I mean? I felt it could have done a bit more.
no, for me, it stretched just the whole theory of what the engineers are and why they created this weapon to do what it was going to do. I find that fascinating.
I'm just talking about like
the film in it, but that's what, as a film. Yeah, I agree with you. In terms of its internal mythology, I can't wait to see where that goes.
Oh yeah.
And the fact that he's getting to do it now, that's I'm sold.
But yeah, no. That aside, I just felt the characters were a bit shit, and did really stupid things. When you think, you know what I mean, stuff like that. That's like screenplay writing 101, man. It was just like, what the fuck. But at the same time, I didn't think it was as bad as what people made out. You know what I mean? I think for me though, it's kind of like back to my point. He might do a shit Alien 5. You know what I mean? But it can't be as bad as what it was. At the moment.
No, I still think Alien 3 is a good film if it was something else. If you take Alien out of it, it's a good film.
I disagree.
Fair
I
enough.
strongly disagree. I can't stand that film.
You've only seen it once.
That is right. I have.
So if you watch it without our eyes, I think you'd tune into it very differently. There's a lot going on. Again, if it wasn't called Alien 3 and it was called Larry's Planet or something, and it just happens to have this entity on it, I think that film would hold up by itself. And the fact that you took Hicks and Newt out of it just really it leaves a bad taste in your mouth from the beginning.
Yeah.
But again, you take those characters out of it, I think you have a good film.
I think you're absolutely right there, because when you watch the second one, they built up those characters so much. You wanted them to return for the next one. You know what I mean? Like straight off the bat, you wanted them. The minute Hicks is dead, you're like, motherfucker, what? Just like. Anyway.
Okay, so on from Alien 5 to Saw Legacy, and I really don't. I thought I saw the back of Saw when Saw 3D came out, and I thought, okay, this has got this. It was just losing money with each film after the third one. I think maybe after the fourth one.
Did they lose money, or did they?
It was gradually going down.
But they were still cheap enough and making a profit.
I guess so, but it was becoming a joke.
Yeah.
Because how many of these tapes could be left in odd there's no way anyone on the planet could plan that far ahead. So I don't care how smart you are. You can't plan that far ahead. And in the first, if you don't know what we're talking about Jigsaw, who was the protagonist of the first film, or antagonist, depending on how you look at it. And he's the one that set up all the puzzles for you, the crazy puzzles for you to get out of. And
he was just an angry man.
I kind of the film made it make sense to why he was angry. I still maybe even in the second one you could get away with him thinking ahead, but for 7 films, him finding tapes with his voice all over the place. Sorry, that's BS. I call BS on that.
It's like a video game. He's like, someone's going to get killed in here. I'm going to leave a tape.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But anyway, I don't know what Saw Legacy is going to be about, but if
you found this tape.
if it's another guy taking up what Jigsaw did, then fair enough. But at this point, I think it's laughable. it's not like what they used to do with horror films in the 80s with Jason and who's the guy in
Freddy.
No, not even Freddy. Oh gosh, Halloween.
Oh yeah.
I can't remember the character's name. The guy that chases you in that. But with those films, the further on they went, the more ridiculous they took it, and it was funny for it in a very Oh, we know where you go. It's almost like they were winking at the camera when they were making these films. Like, yeah, we know this is rubbish, but here it is. And with these films, it takes itself so seriously that
I think that's a problem with films in general, like horror films in general today.
No, I saw The Conjuring the other day.
Oh yeah, how was that?
That's really good.
Yeah,
it's really good. It's I don't know how to explain it, but I think purely because it's set in London as well.
Yeah.
You get a really you've got an interesting vibe from it. Without reviewing that film, what James Wan does with that, he does the pacing's just right. There's no particular jump scares. It's just, say for instance the camera's over there, behind you, and it would stay on a shot for a while, and it would follow your peripheral. So if the character's looking at something, the camera would move over to what the peripheral. So it's in like the Resident Evil 4 type of third person peripheral, and so if you say the character heard a bump, it would look over like that, and the camera would move there with him, and the camera would move back, and and you'd see you continue to do what he was doing, but the camera just stays there, and then you hear something else, and it does that, and it creates a really unnervy feeling, and that's something in horror that hasn't been done in a very long time.
Yeah.
In the sense that it's not trying to just jump scare you. It does something to you psychologically. And anyway, going back to Saw Legacy, if they're just going over the same stuff, then I'm not particularly interested in this. I thought it died, and there was a reason why it ended, because it was just becoming ridiculous. Well. I guess if it was becoming unprofitable, then I guess that's one reason to stop doing it. But I don't think it did stop becoming unprofitable. You had Paranormal Activity that just exploded, and everyone was interested in that. And I guess it just ran out of steam. But now that Paranormal Activity has disappeared, it's time for, I guess, the Saw to come back. Maybe, I don't know. What do you think?
What do I think? Exactly what you think. That's what I think.
Exactly what you think, Joe.
Exactly what you think. I think you just nailed it on the head there, Joe. I mean, but I guess it's one of those big franchises where it's been a few years, let's just dust it off, because maybe people will be like, holy shit, they're doing another one. You know what I mean? Hence the legacy part, because you're going to get a whole load of people go, I remember Saw. Horror's always a good genre to come back to. If it's an established brand, even better. We'll just have to see, man. We'll have to see. But yeah, if it's a continuation, then maybe we'll have to see.
Well, I'm not excited about it. I'm sure a lot of people are. You let us know if you're excited about it. Write something in the description or write into the podcast.
Could they just call it Saw again? Saw.
That's why you're not in marketing.
Another Saw.
Well, yeah.
Anyway.
Well, that's the reboot of Saw. Okay, and back onto Aliens again with Alien Covenant, and Danny McBride. If you don't know who Danny McBride is, he is the guy.
Eastbound and Down.
Eastbound and Down. Yeah, he's. I don't think a lot of our audience would know what that is, but
Step Brothers.
Yeah, he's in. Is he in Step Brothers?
Yeah,
No, that's a different guy.
Is that a different guy?
Yeah, it's a different guy. That's I can't remember the actor's name in that, but that's the guy from Talladega Nights you're thinking of.
Yeah,
Danny McBride. He was in Tropic Thunder. He was the guy with the pyrotechnics. Who wanted to blow stuff up. And he was also in This Is the End. He was the guy that that moves off from the crowd and creates his own cult. and he's I love that
Pineapple
film.
Express.
Yeah, Pineapple Express. Anyway, you'll see who he is if you Google him. Anyway, Daniel McBride is in Alien Covenant, and he is the pilot of the Covenant, and he's been talking about his experiences on set and what he feels the film is like aesthetically. He says that there's a lot of practical stuff for him to work off. He said even some of the things that are the lurkers, or whatever he's referring to. There's something for you to react to or act to, as opposed to a CG thing or being on a CG background, a blue screen even, and that doesn't particularly surprise me, because Ridley Scott has used a balance of both. I mean, even Prometheus used a lot of practical effects, and obviously some of the more complicated stuff, even the deacon birth, that was practical. If you don't know what the deacon is, watch Prometheus, and when you get to the end, you'll see what it is. In terms of what he's saying about it, it rolls well with me. I've seen a lot of pictures from the set of this film, and it looks terrifying. And I'm not sure what's going on half of them, but there's one on the engineer's planet with things coming out of things that look terrifying. You'll see the pictures online if you look for it. But the fact that Dan McBride is excited about this bodes well for the direction of where the film's going. Sach?
I think you just nailed it down. I don't know what to say really. You've said everything I would normally say, to be quite honest, right there. Look, it doesn't surprise me that Ridley Scott's using practical effects. Lucy again worked on Prometheus, the original Prometheus. My friend Lucy that worked on X-Men First Class, and she was in charge of most of the sets. The budget for most of the sets on that, and it was there was rarely any blue screen on there. Except for the exterior shots and that kind of stuff, because that was all CGI for the planet surface and stuff like that. He's well known for having a good feeling of both. And that's probably why the 3D works so well in.
The 3D in that film is good.
Yeah, you know what? I'm not a big fan of 3D.
I hate 3D, and I liked that.
But Prometheus was fucking well good. The 3D was amazing.
You've got a really good sense of scale.
Yeah.
With it.
Well, to be quite honest, with most of his films, the way he directs his films, he has a lot of depth in his shots.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's just his directing style.
Mm-hmm.
You can see it in Blade Runner. You can see it in
The Martian.
You see a lot of his stuff.
Even Gladiator. Gladiator
So,
you can see as well.
It's doesn't surprise me at all, mate. In terms of the aesthetic that he takes with that. I mean, like hell, he's trying to probably recreate the same aesthetic to what Alien had, considering that this is even more closer to Alien.
Yeah.
So
and he even said that Michael Fassbender said, it was in the podcast a few weeks ago, he was saying that the aesthetic is more closer to the first Alien film now than Prometheus was, because Prometheus was it was Weyland's personal ship he created for that particular mission, and all of the rest of these ships are older ships. They're not brand new. They've been around. They've been lived in, and so it has that feel of what the first Alien was like. All the just like, do you know when it went in episode 3? Star Wars, for the technology in the Death Star, just it looks like the 70s film.
Yeah.
So it's got that aesthetic, and that I can't wait to see this film. I would have hoped to have worked on it at some point, but it wasn't meant to be. And so I guess that's all we can say about that, really.
Yeah.
Well, that's the end of the news topics. If you want to write in with anything that we haven't said, Oh, right, okay, no, that's not the end of the topics. We've got two more to talk about. We've got Spider-Man: Homecoming. Okay, so yeah. So Spider-Man: Homecoming is the next topic, and this is Spider-Man casting news. Angry Rice from what's the film called?
The Nice Guys.
The Nice Guys has been cast in Spider-Man: Homecoming, and if you don't know her, I guess that you don't because that was her first film role. So it looks like you're going to see a lot more of this actress, and I can't speculate who she's going to be in Spider-Man: Homecoming, but I think Sacha can.
I mean, like, look, here's the thing. Great choice of actress, that's for sure. I mean, like, the girl had never been in anything before. I don't know, I haven't really looked her up on IMDb or whatnot, but, you know, the Americans hadn't heard of her. But when you watch The Nice Guys, not only is she playing a character with an American accent, and she's native Australian, she has the accent down. She had the character down for that particular role in that movie. And one thing I find with child actors, they either overact or whatever. She had it down in mannerisms on how her character should act and whatnot. And I probably put that down to being with the best. She's acting alongside Ryan Gosling and Russell Crowe in that movie. She must have learned, for a child, that she probably learned a lot of both of those two great A-list actors, because all her scenes are either with Russell Crowe or Ryan Gosling.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Throughout that movie, and that's acting school right there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she's so natural. She was amazing. She fits the right age for this version of Peter Parker. I know they've casted young with Tom Holland and stuff. I think she could potentially be Gwen Stacy, to be quite honest, if they're doing that route. She looks like she could play Gwen Stacy, and when I say that, not the hot siren that Emma Stone was in the bloody movies that just came, because she was a shit Gwen Stacy. Loads of people are like mad at me. I'll tell you why. Because she should have been Mary freaking Jane.
I don't think anyone cares.
No, I care, but
No,
I think
those movies are in the past now.
Anyway, I think she'd make a good Gwen Stacy, unless they're trying to like make her look like Liz Allen kind of thing. Personally, so
I don't think she's going to be Gwen Stacy. She's too young.
Not necessarily.
She's 14 years old.
Gwen Stacy could be 14 years old.
Yeah, but there could be no romantic. I mean, Tom Holland is 20 now.
That would be a bit icky, but he's playing a 15-year-old.
Yeah, but you're not
It's called
understanding
acting.
that
It's make believe.
exactly. But she's still a 14-year-old girl.
Well, maybe Spider-Man's babysitting the kid.
Mm.
Maybe that's an integral part of the movie.
I don't think she's Gwen Stacy. She might be her sister.
She doesn't have a sister.
Well, I don't think she's Gwen Stacy.
Okay, well, either way, I know. I actually didn't know that's how old she was. How old is Tom Holland? Isn't he like?
She's 20 now.
Is he 20?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a bit dodge. But then again, you know, we'll have to see. We'll have to wait and see. But I personally think if they're going for high school kids or whatnot, they probably got her because she's a good talent, and maybe she's Gwen Stacy, maybe she's Liz Allen. That's the only two people I think that she could.
Well, she's a new character.
Then she's just a new character. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
That would probably mean nothing to me. Does that make sense? Like, okay, cool. Yeah, that's about it, really.
In fact, instead of speculating on her age, let's just find out how old she is. Right, okay, folks, we're just finding out how old this actress is. Right, okay, so I'm seeing conflicting stuff here. I don't know actually how old she is, but one says she's 13, one says she's 15. If anyone else if someone could tell us, let us know. But, if she's 13, she's too young. If she's 15, maybe. But yeah. I guess that's Spider-Man: Homecoming. Anything to add to what we've just been said? Okay. So on to the next topic, which is Nicholas Winding Refn has been interested. That's if you don't know who that is, that's the director of the film Neon Diamond and
Demon.
Sorry, Neon Demon, and what's the other film he did? Drive, and Only God Forgives. He was interested in doing he's interested in doing a Batgirl film, and he's I think that's an open letter to Warner Brothers, really, to say, hey, Warner Brothers, I can make films. He clearly can. He's got a very stylish look to his films. And,
yeah.
They may be weird, but they do look good. So I would love to see his version of Batgirl.
And that's the thing. I mean, like, as I was saying before, with Marvel movies earlier, they've got their structure, but I kind of think, because it's being produced under one vision, you're only getting them to look a certain way, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
We no longer have no longer have directors with their take.
Yeah.
With those movies, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Actually, that's a lie, with the exception of the first Captain America and the first Iron Man, but the first Iron Man set up their aesthetic for the rest of the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
But the point I'm trying to make is, you wouldn't get Tim Burton Marvel movie and stuff because he has a certain aesthetic, a certain way of directing. You know what I mean? So whereas this guy, he has his own set kind of style, and that's one thing I must say that the DC movies have. You know what I mean? They've kind of allowed the directors to take their kind of style and infuse it in these franchises. We'll have to see what Suicide Squad says, because I'm quite interested to see how that plays out. His version of Batgirl would be interesting, to say the least. But the thing is, like, Only God Forgives is freaking out there, man. I'm still making up my mind right now whether I like that movie or whether I don't like that movie. But I like Bronson even. I like Drive. The Pusher trilogy was quite interesting too. If you guys haven't seen that, that's his first set of films. It's a movie trilogy. Check it out. But Neon Demon, I haven't seen it yet. Hopefully I'll check it out tomorrow. The trailer looks great, as we discussed a few episodes earlier. I really want to see that film. Batgirl, she's not really, to be quite honest, there hasn't been a Batgirl movie. So we don't have like a take yet, so to speak, other than what we've seen from, I don't know, what was the last film Batgirl was in? Batman and Robin and the 60s TV show. So, having a unique take on a DC character that is probably like a B-list or a C-list.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? DC character. Yeah, bring it. At least he can bring us something original to the table that might make us want to see this flick.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It'd totally be completely different to any interpretation of Batman we've ever seen. So, you know what I mean? Maybe you could make an aesthetic that is like new and different into something we haven't seen before. So that's my 2 cents on that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm from Nicholas Winding Refn. I think, that's it really. Okay, that's the end of the news topics. And if you wanted to write in with any mistakes that we've made or something that you want to suggest us talking about, just write into Zedos Gang podcast at zedosgang.co.uk, or leave a comment in the description, or you can get us on Twitter at Zedos Gang and write something on the wall, or that's one way to describe us. You can also download this podcast on SoundCloud and on iTunes and on Stitcher Radio. So rate, subscribe, do what you must to just to get us in the ratings there. And we're also on YouTube, so if you can, please subscribe to the YouTube channel and leave a comment or just listen to us as normal, and we'll be very happy. Okay, so on to have you got an old but new this week or?
No, not this week.
Okay. So films opening this week in the UK, and there's only one film that we're going to be talking about this week, and that's Ghostbusters.
I do have an old but new. Original Ghostbusters. No, in fact, we're going to do this. Original Ghostbusters for you kids that have never seen Ghostbusters.
We're going back to old but new, and the old but new this week is
Ghostbusters, cinematic classic. Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray, Harold Ramis, Ernie Hudson, Annie Potts. Ghostbusters, directed by Ivan Reitman. Also did Ghostbusters 2 and other films. I can't think of any Ivan Reitman films.
My ex superhero, my ex girlfriend, something to do with his ex girlfriend.
Oh, the one with Uma Thurman.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, mate, he's done other films.
Yeah, he's done, but that's the.
He's done loads. He's got a big ass filmography. Hang on, let me bring that up. Sorry, it was guys thrown on me. I totally forgot about Old But New. It's my fault.
I don't know how you keep forgetting. You. This is your segment.
I know, right? It's bad. It's so bad. Okay, so yeah, My Super Ex-Girlfriend, Meatballs, Stripes, fantastic movie. Bill Murray's in there. You gotta check it out. Twins, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Danny DeVito, Kindergarten Cop, Dave Jr., Evolution. You know, he's done a lot of great comedies, and Ghostbusters is my personal favourite of all of his films. And you know what? If you haven't seen it, check it out. Just do it now. Seriously, it's the one. It's got ghosts. It's got comedy. It's got marshmallow men. It's got laser packs coming out, like laser guns and stuff. It's nuts, man.
Well,
it's nuts.
Yeah, given that a glorious review on it, it's just been re-released on. It's been re-released again on Blu-ray, and it's on 4K Blu-ray now, which is HDR. If you've not seen what HDR is, you need to see it to believe it. It's the biggest leap we've seen in picture quality since VHS to DVD. And that'll be my competition next week for Film 20 Questions. Sorry, at the end of the month for the 4K Blu-ray of Ghostbusters. And so look out for that. I'll give more information on it next week. But and that Ghostbusters is a PG. Again, you don't have to buy it on Blu-ray. You can stream it. There's lots of ways to watch it. But I would say the best way, if you want to see it the best way, it would be a Blu-ray or 4K Blu-ray. What are you gonna say?
You know what the best thing I love about this movie? First time I ever saw Ghostbusters, I was probably like 8. I think I was 8, maybe 7 or 8. As a kid, it was a fantastic action movie. It had ghosts, it had everything. You know what I mean? You watch it from a child's kind of eye. As an adult, wow, that's a funny movie. You know, so it has so many layers, so many undertones that you just don't get in movies these days. You know what I mean? The tone, everything. It's just nuts, man. It's like, you just don't get that now. I totally recommend it to show to your children. I totally recommend this film to watch fresh as for all you young kids that have never seen Ghostbusters before. If your girlfriend hasn't seen Ghostbusters, get her to see Ghostbusters.
I don't think the way the 80s were for children aren't the way. So basically, there are scenes in this film that are quite rude.
They're not gonna get it.
I'm sure they're not, but it's the parents that will go. Because those scenes were on the VHS ones or on the or when it came on TV. Those on the DVDs and Blu-rays now, but
no, they were on the VHS.
Yeah, I guess so. But
they were on the VHS. I owned the VHS as a kid.
I don't remember seeing it.
I just didn't get the ghost blowjob scene.
Yeah.
I just didn't get it. You know, like as a kid. as an adult, I was like, oh damn, that's what was going on there.
Well, I could be wrong about that, but
Yeah.
I know parents these days are very protective. So yeah. Anyway, Sacha said it all. That's the old but new. And on to films opening this week, Ghostbusters, and that is the rebooted Ghostbusters directed by Paul Feig. It stars Melissa McCarthy, Kristen Wiig, Katie Buchanan, Leslie Jones, Charles Dance.
What?
I'm sorry, no, not Charles Dance. Sorry, they're just those characters.
Charles Dance is in there?
No, he's not.
Is he a ghost?
Actually, no, I think Charles Dance is in it. Let me just double check.
As Lannister's ghost.
I'm not even going to say anything about that because that's a spoiler. Charles Dance is in it.
Wow. I got work.
What do you mean you got work? that guy works all the time.
Oh no. I was just saying.
Anyway, so I've got nothing good to say about this, so I'll let you go with it.
I'm out of stuff to say. Look, check previous podcasts for what I said. Bear in mind that hope is kind of diminishing. I mean, like, the reviews have been out now. They're not looking that great. I was kind of hoping that Paul Feig would one out the bag because I really enjoyed The Heat. I really enjoyed Bridesmaids. I really enjoyed Spy. But, none of the trailers have really sold it to me. Since our first episode, we were talking about the first Ghostbusters trailer, and I was saying I was trying to keep hope that the talent would, probably save this thing. Now the second trailer to show us, that was worse than the first, and now every TV spot that's come out, I haven't even checked them out, but I've saw one or two because I was like, show me something, and they just got worse and worse and worse. It just looks like a shit version of the original. It actually looks like a shit version of the original. You know what I mean? That's what it looks like. It looks like it's the same storyline, just dressed up a little differently. Just a shit version of the original. So go back to my old but new. Yeah, my old but old. Just check out 1984 Ghostbusters. If you like that, watch Ghostbusters 2. All right, this isn't selling it to me. I'm gonna go check it out this week anyway. Because I can't trash talk. I'm gonna go check it out.
They're not getting my money for this.
I might change my tune.
That's you to do. That's yours
we'll
to
see.
do.
At the moment, none of the marketing has worked for me. Marketing guys, you failed. You should all get fired.
No, they shouldn't get fired. The people. I don't think it's to do with the marketing team. That's what they were told to do, and so the producers in that marketing team should be fired.
Okay. Well, we need to blame those guys. Sorry, Joe has a lot more insight about that. We've never really talked about what Joe does, but
well, I'm not really anyway.
Okay.
Yeah. So Ghostbusters comes out this week. I believe it's the 15th or the 14th. I'm not sure what day it comes out, but it is this week, and I for one, I'm not planning to see it because it just doesn't look like a film. It doesn't appeal to me.
Yeah. It just looks like someone there really liked Scooby-Doo a lot. All the ghosts from Scooby-Doo, and just what them in Ghostbusters made them female, and just took loosely the plot to the original movie. That's what I got from those trailers. Yeah.
Well, again, you can view that in 3D and I believe 2D, whatever cinemas will show it in 2D, and it's a 12A. And look out for that and let us know what you think about it. Okay, so on to the last segment, Film 20 Questions, and it is Sacha's go. So I have to guess what Sacha has written down, and if you know how this game works, I've got 20 questions. I can ask Sach 20 questions, and or vice versa, and we have to guess what is written down on the paper by asking Sach questions and saying all he can say is yes or no to them. And are you ready?
I'm ready.
That's fantastic. Is it an action movie?
Yes, it is.
Is it a 90s movie?
I was just about to look that up. I do believe it is. Yes, it is.
Right. Okay, so it's a 90s movie.
Yep.
Okay. Is it an ensemble cast?
No.
Okay. Does it have a female lead?
Yeah.
What does that mean? You don't seem sure.
There is a female lead, but she's not really a big name at all in the movie. The focus.
Blade.
Fuck. Wow, I think Joe just ended 20 questions in 3 or 4 goes. That is our fastest one today.
Bam! The reason I said that is because I always watched that film, so I never saw her in anything else again. And she was quite good in it.
Yeah.
She was just okay in it, but you just never saw her in anything again.
You got that off the actress. There's millions of 90s films like that.
Yeah, there are, but that was the most prominent one.
Oh, around that time.
Yeah, and I just thought, yeah, she didn't turn up in anything else, so I thought, bam, Blade.
Wow, that's nuts. We didn't even get to Wesley.
That was 3 questions, wasn't it?
No, it was 3 or 4. I think it was 3.
That's fantastic.
Wow.
Wow. Okay. Well, yeah, that was awesome. Okay. Well,
Shortest 20 questions ever.
Yeah, just a bit. On that note, thank you, Sach. Thank you, audience, for listening. Sach, where can we find you?
Okay, you can find me at Sacha Allari on Twitter. Oh, sorry, Sashman3 on Twitter. I've been corrected by Melanie last week. Also, check out my YouTube account under Sacha Allari. Definitely 100% Sacha Allari. And check out my new short film, The Little Guy Returns.
Okay, all right, that's good. And you can find me on Zedos Gang, the website, that's zedosgang.co.uk, and you can find me you can find this podcast on YouTube, Stitcher, iTunes, and Pinterest. So yeah, hunt it down, hunt the website down, and you'll be very happy, I guarantee you. If you want to write into the Film 20 questions for the competition, just write into podcast at zedosgang.co.uk and just write the film down that you want us to guess for the competition, and we'll pick one of you out of a hat. Whoever's been picked out gets a chance to win that 4K Blu-ray of Ghostbusters. But again, next week I'll give you more details on that. But yeah, just write in and of your name, with your film suggestion, and you may win a Blu-ray. And yeah, again, thank you for listening. Thank you, Sach. This has been the Zedos Gang podcast, and we're out.